It is frequency distribution chart.
Histogram is a graphical representation of the frequency distribution table. Am I right? Histogram is a graphical representation of a frequency distribution table. So what do we mean by graphical representation of a frequency distribution table? So here is a example. Can somebody kindly read this example for me? This part of the example, please. Please read it loud.
The survey was done with a class of 31 students to see how many times they played sports last month.
Okay. So what could be the possible answers, Ruza? So for example, if I'm asking you to go to a school, okay, and randomly pick up 31 students and ask one question. In the last 1 month, how many times you went to playground and you played a sport? So when you randomly pick up people, definitely you're not going to get the same answer from everybody. Am I right?
Right.
Okay, so what could have been the answer? Somebody would have told I went to playground and played sports 5 times, 4 times, 3 times. Like that, you will get a varying answer. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay. So now that varying answer has been captured in a Excel file like this. Let me open that Excel file just a minute. So here is the data. Okay. So student 1 time, student 2 2 time, like that. People have given me multiple answers here. Now for this multiple answers, so here are my 31 students. Student number 1 to student number 31. Here are my multiple students. So this response is now plotted as a bar graph. Can you call it histogram?
That's right.
Yes, no. Is this the histogram or it's not a histogram?
It is a histogram.
It is a histogram. Okay. Anyone else have a different opinion? Is this a histogram? No. Yes. So this is not a histogram. Why this is not a histogram? Because this is a graphical representation of an absolute data. It's not a graphical representation of a frequency distribution table. So what does it mean? So if you see here, this histogram bar sizes are varying. Am I right? So when the histogram bar sizes vary, what does that tell you? There is variation. If this bar used to be a one single bar, everybody saying we went to playground 4 times and we played sport 4 times, then what does it mean? The curriculum of these students are designed in such a way there is no variation in the exposure to games and sports to all the students. They all get the same exposure to games and sport. There is no variation. That will be the meaning if I get a standard bar for all random 31 students. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. But in this case, this bar is varying. What is it? What does that tell you? That tells you there is variation. But however, this is not your histogram. Then what is my histogram? My histogram is a frequency distribution table. I need to convert my original data into frequency distribution table. What do I mean by frequency distribution table? If you see, this is a frequency distribution table of this raw data. Here I have 32 data points. Now what I do, I convert that 32 data points into a frequency distribution table. So what is this frequency distribution table telling me? The frequency distribution table tells me 4 of them went and played sport for 1 time. 9 of them went and played sports for 2 times. Like that, it has converted this data into a tabular column where this is the frequency distribution interval and this is the number of times you had data point in that interval. Is that clear?
Yes.
Everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Ruza, are you clear?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Now, if you convert this into a graph, right? Now, if you convert this into a graph, this is called your histogram. You understand? This graph is also drawn for your 31 data points only. Am I right?
Yes.
The previous graph is also drawn for your 31 data point. This graph is also drawn for your 31 data point. But this graph is called histogram. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, I have one question. Now, if in this school, if somebody told, hey, Vinod, I went to playground and played 9 times, the graph will not end here. It will end somewhere here. Am I right?
Right.
Right? Or in the school, if everybody told, I am playing a sport only between 2 to 4 times, The graph will not start here and end here. Instead, it will start here and end here itself. Am I right?
Yes.
So histogram is a graphical representation to give you the spread of your data. Very important word. Histogram is a graphical representation to give spread of your data. And what do we mean by spread of data? Spread of data is nothing but the amount of variation in the data. So more the variation, your graph will become wider. Less the variation, your graph will become narrow. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yes. And also what it does, it gives you the shape of the data. What kind of shape? So this is not bell curve. Do you see this? This does not look like a bell curve. This side you get more data point. This side you get less data point. It gives you an extended tail this side. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So yesterday I told the distribution part alone I will teach once I teach histogram. So what happens when you draw a histogram for your data? It gives you the shape of the data. It gives you the spread of the data. Depending upon the shape and spread, you are able to visualize the amount of variation in the data. And you are also able to visualize what kind of distribution your data follows. So if there is an assessment question, what is the use of histogram? Option A, it gives me the amount of variation in the data in the graphical format. It tells me approximately what distribution it follows. Option C, both A and B. Option D, none of the above. Which one you will choose?
A and B.
Both A and B.
A and
Because it gives you the spread of the data. That means it graphically represents the amount of variation in the data. It also approximately tell you what is the distribution it follows. Is it clear for everybody? This is the purpose of histogram. We convert the raw data into a graph, into a frequency distribution table. And that frequency distribution table, we convert it into a graph. And that graph is what we call as histogram.